Well, welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for more recruitment racing action for GT3s with regards to the Tanso Racing Group and Clark St James Motorsport GT3 Championship. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. I'm going to be joined in the booth once again by the one, the only, the legend that is Mr. James Parfitt here at the home of British Motorsport, Silverstone, for race number 2 out of 4. We've already had last week Circuit to Barcelona, Catalonia. We've got another 2 more races to go after this before we do kickstart things very, very soon for Season 8. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. If you do want to sign up for the remaining 2 races, which are going to be Mugello the 4th of August and Road America the 18th of August, head to tansoracingroup.co.uk. All the links are in the description as we see the wonderfully liveried Clark St James Motorsport car, the Mercedes-Benz AMG of a certain Mr. Harry Hartley-Price, the Season 6 Pro Champion and Season 7 runner-up. Mr. Parfitt, good evening.
Good evening, dear sir. How are you?
I'm doing as well as can be, apart from being stuck in the good old Heathrow traffic after making my way back from continental Europe yesterday, but hey-ho, things could be worse.
They could definitely be worse, to be honest, mate. And to be fair, we get to go to Silverstone, the home of British Motorsport, the only track in the UK big enough and safe enough to hold the F1, and the flattest one out of all of them.
Flatter than a Dutch windmill.
Yes. Absolutely. We are just in qualifying, guys, at the moment in time. We've got Michael Gray is in the session as well. He will only be doing his 60 minutes, as he said in YouTube chat, and then he'll be ducking out like he did last time. So we're probably going to go and start from the back like he normally does. A few more drivers added to the list this evening as well. We've got a couple of more who have come and joined us for this event. So we're going to look forward to this one. Wayne Douglas is one that's come along for this. Jared Love apparently is here. Sindre Johansson, Jay Rooney, Glenn Ablard, Egov Satiro are all new drivers. So if you see any of them popping up, that is why they're here. Should be, do you know what, right? I'm British and I'm supposed to love Silverstone, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5 British tracks.
Okay. In chat, what do you think of Silverstone? And don't sit on the fence, because you know what happens? You get splinters in your backside.
You're pretty good at that.
Well, I put it in my top 10. Would have put it in my top 5. There are other British circuits, like, say, Brands Hatch Grand Prix, Donington Park. Cadwell's got a little bit of character about it. Thruxton is one that I always love. It's the fastest circuit. You know, they say it's the fastest circuit in the UK. Well, when you got the British touring cars running around church at about 150 miles an hour, then you know that that's a blooming quick circuit. But, I mean, I think that a lot of people sometimes, don't like the circuit, but there's also that historical value, because most of the mainstays, like, say, Silverstone, Snetterton, they were all on airfields that were around during the Second World War. So there's a little bit of a military link there, so to speak. But for those wondering about, So for those wondering about the formats, it is going to be closed qualifying up to 7 laps over a 15-minute period. Then it's a 5-minute break, and then it's 90 minutes. So 60% maximum fuel allowance, open setups, 2 fast repairs. First penalty at 20x, then every 10x, no DQ. And we do have live stewarding, because Mr. Connor Pink is back in the hot seat at race control. So he's going to see who's going to end up on the naughty step.
Yeah, I expect there to be a few. You know what I mean? I do expect there to be some. But I just think that for me, there would have been other places I would have put this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have picked Silverstone for this race. But, you know, look, hey, that's just me. I'm just one person, not a lover of it. So there we go. Hello, says Connor. Hello, Connor. How are you? Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us as well. I'm a little bit worried about Jared Love and Wayne Douglas being in AMS. I think that may have, I don't know if John's got that round the right way.
Jared Love is definitely. I think he might have got it a little bit Pete Tong on that one, because Jared Love was a pro driver last season. He was in the good old Mustang, and even he has gone to a part of us finest in the number 10, and of course that striking livery of DC Motorsport. But Hayden Young now jumps up into P2, so it's Harry Hartley-Price. Hayden Young in the Macca, the McLaren 720S, puts it P2 by, what was it, 4/100ths of a second. Then Jared Love, Wayne Douglas, John McLuhan, who is sticking. Oh, now, we haven't had many drivers stay with cars, but John McLuhan has kept with the Porky. He's kept with the Porsche.
Yeah, that's the thing. Daniel Paul's also in the Porsche. Adam Hansen's in the Porsche. And Craig Corish is also in the Porsche. It seems we've got a very Mercedes matriarchy at the front. And I think maybe the Merc might have been the car to go with, to be honest.
I'm going to make a recommendation here.
Go on,
which is they have to cap the amount of cars per manufacturer.
Yeah, unfortunately though, that's very hard to police. If they could, I agree with you, but it's very hard because iRacing don't all of a sudden turn around and go, right, we've got 8 Mercedes now, so tough.
I understand, but from an organisational point of view, saying that if you, let's say for instance, we have a grid of 36, okay, 6 of them can be Mercs, 6 of them can be this, 6 of them can be that. So you've got like 6. So you can have a maximum of 6 cars from any one manufacturer. So you won't always have people going. You'll have people going, well, I wanted a Merc. Well, I wanted a Merc. Yeah, well, it's a case of it should be a first come, first serve. Not do it down to the fact that you can't police it on iRacing, but it is a case of give us your top 3 choices of what car you want to run. That's how I do it. I did that at a championship once before, and someone went, what are you playing at, Goldschmidt? And I went, well, I just want to make it that we have an even mix of cars. I don't want like half the field being one blooming manufacturer just because it's the quickest out there. You know?
Yeah,
but that's my point of view. It's a bit like yours with the top 5 and Silverstone not being in it. We've all got a right to opinion. If you want to shoot us down for it, I don't really care. It's my opinion. Take it with a pinch of salt.
Oh, you can tell Mr. Goldschmidt's not had much sleep this weekend. He's very fiery today. What's going on?
Oh, no.
Okay?
No, I'm fine. I've had plenty of sleep. It's the traffic on the M25 that did me in like a kipper today.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. So I do get that. Right, we're in the 5-minute warm-up now before we go into the race at the moment as well. So we're going to keep an eye and see how these guys get on during this warm-up period. I don't expect many people to go out. Oh, Hayden Young's gone out in the McLaren. So he's out on track there. 4.5 minutes to go of this one before they start running around here. I just think that I get where you're going with the manufacturers. Yeah. I do understand that. And yeah, if it can be policed, great. But I just think it's going to be impossible to police because you'd have to register them right at the beginning of the season and then make sure they stay in the same car, and that's a lot of work for some people who work during the day, because let's not forget Shawnee does work during the day as well, so to try and police that would be hard. But I think that for me, I think by having the switch on its head, away from the Acura, away from the Porsche, away from the comfortableness of the BMW, I think that the Mercedes deserves a little bit of spotlight. I really do. I think it's a good car, and I drive the car, and I do think it sounds absolutely blinking amazing. So I think the Mercedes deserves some spotlight and deserves some love, and if it's getting it at the moment, then fair play to them. You know, I think we can safely say they're doing a good job with it, and I'm happy that it's there.
I've just counted 8 of them that are on the grid for... hang on. Was it 8? No, 9. 9. So nearly half the field is Mercs. At least we've got a little bit more of a mixture. BMW's not really getting much loving, but the Macca is, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 McLarens, 5 Porsches, 2 BMWs, 4 Corvettes, and Sindre Johansson, the Norwegian, in the number 6, is the only person that has gone into the Mustang.
Yeah, we've got Jay Rooney in the BMW. So we've got a little bit of a mixture, but I still think that, you know, I'm happy the Mercedes is getting some love. I might have to jump back in the Merc and see what's changed. Hopefully it won't be the back end. Adam Hansen in that Roxy delivery Porsche. Rexy is the green. Roxy is the pink, of course. Craig Corish is out in the Merc at the same time. And most of the grid, other than that, is in these wonderful Mercs here.
One thing I do like about the Merc is that thunderous rumble. That's unmistakable. Naturally aspirated 6.2 litre V8. I mean, Mercedes AMG have actually done a teaser of the new car that's due to come through very soon, because they've updated the road going model, and the GT3 homologation through SRO says that, well, if you bring out a new model, you've got to base your next car on that new model. So whether the next car is going to have that thunderous, recognisable rumble,
I hope so.
We'll have to wait and see.
I hope so. It can't be a Mercedes without it. It sounds blinking amazing, and I have to be honest, it really does. But I do think they can't really do a lot about it. But then again, I did see the old Lamborghini GT3 at Goodwood. I've got to be honest, that was one sexy-looking machine.
The Temerario really has. It's a lot more angular, a lot more aggressive than what the Huracan has been over the last few years, which has been the Talisman GT3 car for, you know, the brand based out of Santa Agata Bolognese. But like the headlights, it's like how narrow they are, but how much light they can project from them. It just looks like something that just might come out of the back of a dark alleyway and scare the living bejesus out of you at 30 paces. It's that kind of car, isn't it? It's just like, it's menacing, it's aggressive, it's like, yeah, we're going to take you all on and have fun whilst doing it.
It looks awesome. It really does look awesome. Do you think they would let anybody near it?
That's an interesting question.
I could give you the answer.
No.
No. But it was all barriered in, and the cover come off. You know, you had to, you were lower than the car, and you weren't allowed to touch it and get near it and stuff like that. So they were very much like, no, we're not letting anybody near that car. So yeah, for that Lamborghini, you were sort of stood down below it, should we say, beforehand.
It was kind of like when Maserati released the, I think it was the MC2, the MC20 GT2 car, and that was all cordoned off, and that was at the CrowdStrike 24 Hours of Spa in 2023. However, we have got a grid assembled for recruitment race number 2 for the Tanso Racing Group and Clark St. James Motorsport GT3 series. So this is race 2 out of 4. Harry Hartley Price and Hayden Young are on the front row of the grid. It's Mercedes versus McLaren. Then it's Jared Love and Peter Duke, Andy White, Wayne Douglas, rounding out the top 6 all in Mercs. Ahead of Jean McClure in the leading Porsche with Tim Cullimore, Glenn Ablard, Tim Reed rounding out the top 10. Daniel Poole, Harry 7, Craig Corish, Adam Hansen, James Moore, Shawnee Clark, Joel Loudon, Callum Milam, Sindre Johansson, Mark Wesley, Jay Rooney, Sergio Cabral, Joseph Lopez, James Vardigans, Michael Gray, and Mark Ogier.
Ossier.
Rounding out. Ozier, is it?
Ossier.
Ossier.
Yes.
Okay.
I only know that because he's in OGRL on Sunday.
Thank you very much for that correction there.
That's all right. I would have messaged you, but I can't message you the phonics for it. So it's just easier saying it's Ossier.
It must be Ebonics.
It's something. It's Pubonic. There as well. So there we go. We get up and running. It's very, very shortly. Starting at the back end through Stowe. So we've got Vale, Chicane and Club. And then we're on to the Hamilton Straight for the green here this evening.
So, we're ready to race here at the home of British Motorsport for 90 minutes, as it is going to be Harry Hartley-Price and the number 98 Clark St. James Motorsport Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo. Hayden Young in the McLaren will be alongside very shortly. However, here we go, red lights are on, and recruitment race number 2 is under full throttle, and we're underway. And a great start by Hartley-Price. He fires it through into Abbey Corner, then into Farm. And it's going to be hard on the brakes here into the right-hander at turn 3 at Village. With Jared Love closing in on the McLaren of Hayden Young for second position. Now through into the loop before you get to accelerate rather nicely and hear that thunderous rumble of that naturally aspirated 6.2 litre V8 Mercedes power plant as we ride on board with the race leader and our pole sitter Harry Hartley-Price as he flies down the Wellington Straight, down from 5th gear into 3rd, a little bit of trail braking into Brooklands, nail the apex, touch the curb, down through into the right-hander here at Luffield. And you've got the scramble behind the likes of Love, Duke, Douglas, White, McLuhan, et al. Trying to make their way through Woodcote. And now onto the National Pit Straight, heading into Copse Corner. Probably taking it around about 130 miles an hour. Modulate that throttle. Might have to do a little bit of a lift before going through the corner, but then it's into the fastest complex in modern day motorsport. Maggots, Beckett's, and then going through into Chapel Curve before down the Hanger Straight in towards Stowe Corner. But a very, very good start from all the competitors so far, apart from this incident here, which is one of the BMWs.
Sindra.
Oh, and that is not going to be... Sindre Johansson, the Norwegian in the Mustang, has a little bit of a spinneroonie on his own, lights up the rear tyres whilst engaging first gear and mashes the loud pedal on the right hand side of the cockpit. But still, apart from that, it's been pretty plain sailing so far, JP.
Yeah, Price has broken away at the front, which is quite good. He's got Young in behind him in the McLaren, Love, Duke, Douglas and White tucked in right behind. There's a little bit of close action here with Wayne Douglas, but I don't really know how much this DC Motorsport man is going to challenge Peter Duke in front and Jared Love. So that's going to be an interesting barrow out and see how that comes out. Andy White in there for the Clark St. James Motorsport team, of course. Further back, we've got Michael Gray just, doing Michael Gray things going through the field. And Daniel Paul and Adam Hansen are having a nice little ding-dong in 13th and 14th pit. Paul in the Porsche, Hansen also in the Porsche, and it's pro and am once more for these guys. Alex has forgot to press the button.
It is the case that at this moment in time, thank you very much for the reminder, it has been a long day. I've been up since about 8 o'clock Central European time as well, so travel days are not all they're cracked up to be honest with you. But things are starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm as a lot of people are finding that things are spacing out. I mean, we're now seeing that Harry Hartley-Price has got a lead of over 1.1 seconds over Hayden Young. But the McLaren's still looking pretty strong in this early phase. However, look at that. Mercedes strength in numbers right behind him. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a Porsche not too far behind. Peter Duke's lost a little bit of time to Jared Love. So he's possibly going to be between a rock and a hard place, as that was a little bit of a look by Andy White up the inside of Wayne Douglas going through into Stowe Corner. But is he going to try and look for a move up into Club? Not quite, but it is just about, nearly a little bit of a love. Yeah, he's pushing him. Little couple of love taps here or there from Andy White and Wayne Douglas, just to try and see if he can do a little bit of a kiss and run, so to speak. But yeah, he's keeping Douglas very, very honest as they go through once again into Abbey, Farm Curve, into Village. So there's a bit of a rhythm starting to build here, JP, as we go on to lap number 3 of this race. Once again with that 60% fuel limit that we... and that is Young. Hayden Young has dropped it. and that is the same place where Sindri Johansson did it, and that is at the loop.
Yeah, and that is going to be a long wait. A few more amps. If they go past him, he's going to be even further down the order. I think he's going to nestle into 17th here for Hayden Young. Probably going to kick himself, but I've got a funny feeling this is a little bit of a trail break mistake as he's come in, try to get the car slowed down, get on the power now, and unfortunately that McLaren turned around and went, no, don't want to.
The back end said Spinola on that particular occasion on that one.
Nikita Mazza spin all over again. There we go.
Yeah. Or orders from Mattia Bonotto.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, that has now meant that Jared Love is currently in second position. Peter Duke P3 still chasing DC Motorsport teammate. Well, Douglas is chasing down Duke. White is there. McLuhan is not that far behind. I'm quite surprised that McLuhan at the moment, just looking at his, looking at top speeds, Tim Reed just did 160.2 miles an hour. It's a fast average lap in terms of average lap speed around here at Silverstone. So when you're on the throttle for, I think pretty much, what is it, 65, 70%, as we're now going to get the telemetry indicator here for Wayne Douglas coming out of club. And then they're going to be, now keep your eyes on the speedometer, fifth gear, 142 miles an hour when he carries it through at Abbey. Little lift, and then it's 130. It's now going to be all the way down the gearbox into second, 55 miles an hour. So a lot of speed scrubbed off there. 90 miles an hour scrubbed off within a matter of 150 meters. But then you're back on the power again, and we're going to see what speeds these drivers get up to down the Wellington Straight, up to fourth gear, bouncing off the rev limiter, now up into fifth, 140 miles an hour, 145, 148, just before starting to do the trail braking, going into Brooklands, Luffield, and then you start to accelerate out of Woodcote. You've got to wait, bide your time to start putting the power down through here, but you don't want to hit that kitty litter on the outside.
No, you definitely don't. You've got to make sure that you keep it on the racetrack as these guys go off through Luffield and then through Woodcote. Here on the run down into Copse now. Fast right-hander is going to be a point dab shoot situation. As they're going to come down, it's going to lift, get it down, let it run, and now. And there is Harry Seven going round on that corner in the BMW.
Oh, now, this is not where you want to lose it, and it goes spin, 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 spin. Code Brown, check your underwear afterwards. Thank you very much, and get back out on track.
Yeah, and that's all because he kind of dragged it in and tried to slow it down, and then the car just went, nah, not on your Nelly, son. And unfortunately, that was the end of that. It was kind of more of a he should have got the brake. He should have got on the brake to slow the car down and then let the car's mechanical grip. I'm not going to say aero grip. Yes, they have some, but compared to an open wheeler, it's very, very minimal. So he should have got that slowed before the corner, before trying to drag it round the corner. And unfortunately, as he dragged it round the corner, it was still too quick and the car just didn't like it. So unfortunately for Harry, he's dropped all the way down into 20th. On board with Wayne Douglas, he's chasing him down, Peter Duke and Jared Love. As I say, I think Jared is in the wrong class here. I think maybe me and Shawnee need to get our heads together and turn around and go, yeah, I think he needs to go up one, because I'm pretty sure he was last time. But Andy White tucks in for that Clarkson James Motorsport machine, chasing down the three DCWs. There's like a DCW filling in between the Clarkson James Motorsport bread.
Yes, and it looks like a rather tasty one with the amounts of Mercedes machinery in the middle. Harry Hartley Price has got the fastest lap of the race, no surprises, in clear air, and he's just under 2/10 away from breaking underneath the 2-minute barrier at the moment. 2-minute .188. He's 2.2 seconds, and that 2.3 ahead of Jarrett Love, with Peter Duke, Wayne Douglas, Andy White, who we're riding on board with in the number 86, Jean McLuhan, Tim Cullimore, Glenn Abelard, Tim Reed, and hello, Mr. Michael Gray. Started 25th, now 10th. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. And
he's an interesting character, isn't he? The Mr. Michael Gray comes in, dominates, and then says, "Right, I'm off now, boys. I've been here an hour. See you later. Take care."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and we're even though we've got the yellow for the pros, blue for the AMs, we are going to call him Mr. Pink because that's his colour, Mr. Pink, not alien, not what we were calling him the other week, which is basically a man on a different level altogether. Hayden Young starting to make a little bit of a comeback. He's closing in on Upshift Esports James Moore in the Corvette. So Hayden now up into 15th, looking to go for 14th position, but then he's got to find about 1 3/4 seconds to close in on Adam Hansen in 13th position in Roxy, not Rexy, as James rightly put on. And who was running Rexy last season, folks? Chris Haynes. Speaking of, he's not here tonight.
No, I haven't seen him. We ain't going to have a Rexy-Roxy relationship going on the racetrack. However, we are going to have a Wayne Douglas-Andy White relationship happening very, very shortly, as these guys continue to go nose to tail in through the right-hander or Luffield again. And then they've got the little bit of the kink to the right, which is Woodcote. This is where I used to live, actually, in North London. There was a road called Woodcote in North London. I used to live there.
Yep.
I don't know what purpose that is or whether that's got any relevance whatsoever.
No, actually, that's a geographical reference there, Mr. Parfitt. There you go.
Yes.
Woodcote Road in North London. Happy days.
Yeah, well, actually, right. Mr. Goldschmidt, it was Woodcote Avenue.
Woodcote Avenue. Okay, well, I wasn't too far off, but...
No, you weren't. I'll give you that, to be honest with you. It's where I spent most of my days... And I can't think of the rest of the Will Smith song, but I'm sure it's something like that. James Vardigan has had some form of drama with Mark Ossier. Is not too far back away from him as well.
Vardigan's this is going to be rotate on his own, and back end says goodbye.
And Ossier...
Subi's is back! Subi's is back!
Yeah, and Ossier just got loose and...
Back
at the wall.
Smacked the wall in that wonderful Harrods McLaren F1 Le Mans livery tribute. Oh, now that is another one. I mean, you remember what was it when Connor Pink was bringing out the West McLaren Mercedes and then the Vodafone McLaren, and then so we've got someone in the form of Mark Ozier doing that as well. Here's Adam Hansen in Roxy trying to close in on Craig Corish. So we've got a trio of porkers battling it out for what is 11th on the road, being led by Flatline Racing's Daniel Paul, runner-up in Season 7 in the AM category, and Corish has got past. Paul made a bit of a mistake there, so could be at the behest of Adam Hansen in Roxy. There is Hayden Young with the headlights ablaze. 13 minutes completed so far, an hour and 17 still to go.
Yeah, we've got quite a while here. It's going to be a couple of selection of battles. We've got the DC train. They're not really going to make inroads on anybody. Corish, Paul, Hansen, Young. Milan might have Loudon, Seven and Rooney getting up to the back of him soon as well. So Mr. Callum Milan is going to have to get a little big of a wiggle on. Otherwise, this man is going to be coming at him thick and fast in the McLaren here for Joe Loudon. And then, of course, the two BMW representatives in behind that of Harry Seven, who we saw spin earlier on, and Mr. Jay Rooney there in that brightly coloured BMW.
Kind of reminds you ever remember in the 1990s when VW brought out the Polo Harlequin edition with all the different colour panels. It's kind of what that reminds me of.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. But didn't Benetton do a multicoloured colour like that as well?
They did, and I think I'm going to have to look this up, to be honest with you.
I thought they did like a patchwork livery.
They did. Well, it was the Benetton B188, which actually had a Harlequin Harlequin paint job. Now I'm trying to remember who the drivers were. I think Alessandro Nannini, the Italian F1 driver, who had his arm severed just by the elbow on a helicopter accident. I'm trying to remember if he was actually. I think he was one of the drivers for that one.
Yeah, it was the United Colours livery in F1 between 87 and 90. They did a bit of a patchwork yellow, blue, and red and green.
And I was right. It was Nannini, Thierry Boutsen, Emanuele Pirro, who went to Jay Rooney. That nearly went wrong. And good old Johnny Herbert drove that car as well, the B188.
Yeah, I met Johnny at Goodwood. Had a cheeky selfie, as you do. He didn't look overly happy, but, you know, hey, John, you're there. You stand in the garage. You're going to get people asking for your autograph, mate. So there we go. I didn't get his autograph. I just got a little bit of a cheeky selfie.
Oh, that's Corish around. Craig Corish just had the big old swap ends. And this is, oh no, this is going to be through Cops, isn't it? Turns it in. And there she spins. And Daniel Poole was so lucky he didn't collect him. But Hayden Young got past him in the meantime. So Hayden Young on a charge, now up to P11. So Hayden doing a good bit of a recovery drive here at the moment.
Yeah, he is at the moment in time. He's moved himself up into 11th place. Don't forget Hayden's...
Shawnee Clark, what you done?
Yeah, Vardigans is off as well. And Sean... Watch the back end.
Oh no. Watch the barrier. A little kiss of the barrier with the left rear, but nothing too substantial there for Shawnee Clark.
No. I don't know how he's managed to change his name to Shawnee. You know what I mean? Shawnee Clark.
Probably just because he wanted to sound cooler on the broadcast when we mention it.
Yeah, I don't know if Shawnee sounds cooler. So, you know what I mean?
No, Sean Clark sounds a lot better. But
yeah, it does.
There was a try there from Wayne Douglas on Peter Duke.
I think there wasn't. I think from my perspective on that, what I've just witnessed, I don't know if that was a try. I've got a funny Duke stayed on the racing line. Douglas covered off White, and that's why White couldn't get through. But it made it out that he was going to go through on Peter Duke, but I don't believe he was going to. That's my philosophy.
Maybe Papaya rules and reared its ugly head again.
Maybe because Peter Duke's the boss.
And they do have a Papaya style colour on that DC Motorsport livery.
Yeah, don't upset the boss.
Yes. Woe betide the boy who upsets the boss in the camp. Because, you know, you'll definitely be on that dunce set with the dunce's corner with the cone on your head with the big D on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. So you don't want to be doing that. I have got lots of information about Peter Duke. Peter Duke is a fascinating man. He's done a lot of things, but I'm not going to tell you about it. And the reason I'm not going to tell you about it is in about 2 weeks' time, I've got him on the podcast on the virtual track, and that's where you're going to find out all about Peter Duke and his long history, shall we say?
Well, all I'm going to say, folks, is that if you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed, you won't find out what's going to happen. Oh, Wayne, don't do that. That's going to give Andy White. Oh, Andy nearly stuck his nose in there as well. But oh no! That was inevitably going to happen. And Wayne, Mr. Douglas, was, I think, the catalyst on this one because he got through, dived on Peter, turns him around. Oh, and Andy White has nowhere to go. Bumpers flying everywhere. And it's a DC Motorsport mess just out of the loop.
I've seen that somewhere before with two McLaren cars. I'm sure I have.
Yep.
Oh, dearie me.
Imagine being a fly on the wall in the team meeting after that one. Whoops.
Yeah. Botsman's been taken out. There we go. It'll be exciting.
I can feel my ears burning now as well, and I'm sure that the air is blue where Peter is. So like, Wayne, you beep, 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 beep. Don't do that.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I can imagine it's going to be quite, quite interesting in that chat room. I can safely say. I wonder if there's going to be any penalties. Let's see what Mr. Pink is going to hand out and whether or not there's going to be any penalties here. Hayden Young out on a racetrack. He's chasing up behind Tim Reed, of course. Mr. Reed in another Clark St. James Motorsport machine. Andy White in pit lane. 1 minute 9 on the clock. 1 minute 9. 1 hour and 9 to go here. Yeah, well, that's just glasses, mate. That was just can't even read the time. So there we go. But Hayden Young making his way through. Still got plenty of time to get up further up than what he is at the moment. So interesting to see how this one goes.
Yes. So we're not at that stage yet. I mean, if I remember correctly, when we had the race at Catalonia, we were seeing people do 2 stops. I think we could more than likely see the same here, to be honest with you, JP, because it's a long... Okay, yes, it's just under 3.7 miles here at Silverstone, but it's a very, very power-hungry circuit, which basically means... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, oh, no. Oh, no has just happened again. But it wasn't that it was Wayne that got caught out this time. And let's just have a look. So he's going to come through in towards the loop. And oh yeah, back end goes. Goodbye. Goes to rejoin and wallop.
Dude, what was that, mate?
Rejoin of shame, I think I should call that.
That's just a 0 IQ moment. I've got to be honest. Bro, like, come on, like, you know, he's nearly 2K in I rating here. We should know you've got an hour to go. It's not about getting back on the track as soon as possible here. And I do severely hope that there is a penalty coming back that way, because that was just absolutely bonkers of a rejoin. I've got to be honest, Wayne, and if you DM me after, well, I ain't going to tell you any different. So, unfortunately for you, son, you need to learn to slow yourself down a bit and not rush that Merc back out on a racetrack, especially pulling into oncoming traffic. So there we go. That's my point.
I'm gonna say 3 words, which will be my point, and you'll agree with this one. Hold them brakes.
Yeah, he's just got to sit there and wait. That's all he had to do. Just sit there, wait, and you know, then come back into the track. But the excitement of being out on the racetrack gets a little bit too much, and then basically the brain goes. And then the brain operates the loud pedal, and then the loud pedal pulls your car out into the middle of traffic, which is never good. Joseph Lopez is having a nice little ding-dong with Andy White and Sindri Johansson. Further down, Johansson in that Mustang, of course. Lopez in the Corvette now with Azumi's livery. Looking good as always. And then Andy White in the Clark St. James Motorsport machine.
That has to... I'll be honest with you. Because he ran that in the GR86 Tanso Racing League, as well as on the McLaren last season. So it is actually, because it's K9 affiliated with those good old Dachshunds on the side and the top, and you and me also having K9s in the family. It's one of the most endearing ones. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah, until it starts barking, and then you just want to make it a slipper. But I do love my Dachshund, really.
Shut up, you.
Yes, the blinking finger bark at his own shadow here, I can tell you that much. Joseph Lopez is under a bit of battle with Sindra. That's good to see. We've got the guys back up front. Now, Cullymore has moved himself back up. Michael Gray is into 5th, up 20 places. So there we go for Michael Gray. Up 20 places at this moment in time.
And he's gone fastest of anybody at one point during this race so far. 1:59.451. Can we be surprised about that? No, not really. We're now seeing pit stops. Jean McLuhan pits just before the 25-minute mark. So I think we're seeing that 2-stopper strategy that we saw last time out at Barcelona. That was the point I was going to allude to before we had Wayne Douglas's second faux pas of the evening. But again, it's going to be a case of how far can you push these cars on the 60% of fuel, because you're going to have to bring the tank anyway when you come in. McLuhan is on his marks in the pit lane, and here goes Michael Gray. That's 22 places gained as now he gets past Tim Collymore through at Aintree, and that is P3. Jean McLuhan was on his marks in the pit lane. This is not including transfer time from entrance to exit of the pit lane, folks. Just under 18 seconds, and that has dropped him down to 16th position. But I'm going to be interested to see, JP, how long it's going to be before the drivers at the sharper end of the field, like Harry Hartley-Price, Jared Love, Michael Gray, Tim Collymore, Glenn Ablard, how long are they going to wait until they decide to pit? And, when they find out, oh, I might be on fumes, it's going to be time to box this lap.
Yeah, I think a lot of these people will just run this out. I think that's what I would do. Run it out to see how far I can get it. And then you kind of, if we're going to stick with a 90-minute race for the season, it kind of gives you a good idea, because you can guarantee some of these tracks we're going to maybe on the original calendar, of course. So running it out will give you a good idea about how much you can go, how long you're going to go, and everything else. The only difference is, the only change may be the weather and the track temperatures and things like that. But as you can see at the moment, Sindre Johansson here closing all over the back of Joseph Lopez with Loudon. Just lost that place to McLuhan. McLuhan took that on the outside of Maggots to Beckett's. Great move.
Yep, Porsche doing Porsche things in the right context, not the wrong context, as we saw. I think it was in Season 6 where a few had used the Porsche, including Harry Hartley-Price and a few others. But Sindre Johansson, again, trying to stick in the nose of the Mustang up the inside at Stoke Corner on Joseph Lopez. James Moore in the Corvette now pits. So that's another driver that has decided to bolt in. That's 27 minutes completed. So a lot of these drivers will push this as far as they can. As you rightly said, JP, they'll want to run it as low as they dare before they know that they've got just over a lap remaining in the fuel tank. Because they'll be keeping an eye on those HUDs, keeping an eye on what their litres per lap consumption is with the cars, and especially if you're in a train like Sindre Johansson is at the moment, is going to probably have a few more people pit. So yeah, it's going to be the case of how much fuel can you save. You're not going to save much per lap if you've got a single or a double tow, but the more that you can save, the better off you are.
Yeah, exactly, and you're in a better stead, aren't you? If you can go longer, you're due to have minimum amount of fuel. You don't need as much fuel going into the last quarter of the race. You know what I mean? Your pit stop's going to be shorter. You should be able to jump in and out, and away you go. I'm a little bit worried that Sergio Cabral was crushed on his way into pit lane here, which could be a very interesting dramatics. I'm hoping he's just slowed down, but I wonder if he's done something beforehand. Oh yes, he did. His back end coming around there just before he went into pit lane. Not long after that as well. But Joe Loudon, Sindre Johansson, Joseph Lopez, these guys having a nice little ding dong at this moment in time.
Yeah, and Lopez tries to duck out of the slipstream of Joel Loudon, as Johansson still staying with the Corvette as they come into what will... Joseph Lopez dives to the inside of Joel Loudon. Doesn't quite work there for the man in the Zoomies livery, but Johansson might get an opportunity. Is he going to thread the eye of the needle up the inside? He might get the run here. He's gone to the inside of Loudon, so Sindre Johansson has got through on Joel Loudon. Lopez is ahead, and he cuts across the front of the Mustang at breakneck speed at over 140 miles an hour. That was brave from Joseph Lopez, but he just knew he had to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to get ahead. That's the thing for Lopez. He needed to get ahead of Loudon, and he had to do it sooner rather than later, and he did do it as well. And also, Sindra's got through. So great job from both of them guys for passing Joe Loudon there. Glenn Ablard is having a nice little bit of a comeback here. He's got Tim Cullimore in behind him. Both these guys up 8 places between them respectively, of course. I don't know why we keep putting things respectively on the end of sentences like that. It does drive me bonkers. It's like saying when, you know, you say, oh, I go shopping at Lidl's, but other supermarkets are available. Well, yes, they are fully aware of other supermarkets. Do you need me to tell you that they're available? So there you go. Lottie's in YouTube chat. Hayden is doing so well after his little mishap. He's going to be annoyed with himself after that, but he's bringing it back. Yes, Lottie, he is. Now, I cannot remember, Lottie, if you're sister, mother, or partner. So please let me know in YouTube chat, because I cannot remember which way round it is, and I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble. But then again, why stop now, JP?
Why change your broken record?
Well, I don't know if it's broken, because I don't repeat the same thing.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I do get where you're going. It's a good job I do. Us old people up here in the booth have to have somebody understand them, I guess. Partner, I thought you was. Okay, Lottie. So there you go. Fair play. Well, go up and give him a little kiss on the forehead and tell him JP said, calm down, you've got this. Maybe not while he's driving, though. Maybe wait for him to go in the pits or something.
Right, okay. Mr. Pink has just jumped into YouTube chat and he said, actions taken for collision penalties issued if you can see them.
No,
right.
But I will let you see them. Hold on.
Oh.
Bear with me. It is exciting if I can get it done quick enough, of course. Give me 2 seconds. I will try and get this set up ready for you, Connor, and then this might make your life a little bit easier, actually, to be honest.
Drum roll, please.
Trying. Bear with. Bear with. I'm on it.
Light a carb on it.
Oh yeah, you might have to just waffle a minute.
Yep. So in the meantime, a few other drivers have come into pit lane. Well, and as I say that, the race leader is now in on lap number 16, Harry Price, Michael Gray. So 16 laps of the Silverstone circuit seems to be the... Tim Cullimore getting a bit... looks like he's getting a bit hangry. Not angry, hangry. He's had a nibble at one of the sausage curbs and the car went skyward on the left-hand side whilst chasing down Glenn Abelard, who's blinking a little bit, I think, as well in the meantime. So Jared Love now has the race lead, 14 seconds ahead of Glenn Abelard. Tim Cullimore rounding out the top 3. Hayden Young now up into 4th. Adam Hansen has now pitted in the number 19 Porsche, currently sitting in 8th position. Michael Gray has now moved out of pit lane, 23 seconds in the pit lane, nearly 26 seconds in the pit box for Harry Hartley Price. So they will all respectively tumble a little bit further down the order. But Michael Gray now... Oh.
Ignore that.
No, I know that was a test message of some description.
Yeah.
So at the moment we are 33.5 minutes through the 90-minute endurance race here for recruitment race number 2 out of 4 for the Tanso Racing Group and Clark St James GT3 Championship. Of course, we will very soon have further news about Season 8, which I understand will be getting underway in early September. So if you want to find out more, check out the links in the description, or you can sign up at tansoracinggroup.co.uk. Still 2 more recruitment races to go. Next week we go to Mugello, and then there'll be a week break. And then the final recruitment race will be on the 18th of August at the famed Road America at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And that That will be. If anyone saw the IGP Fun race that myself and James commentated on last night, craziness could ensue. Let's just say.
Dude, it was flat out bonkers. And if you want any form of action, go and watch it back, because it was absolutely nuts. If you want to go and entertain yourself for the evening, just for an hour, go and watch it. It was the most manic, chaotic, bonkers race I've ever seen at all. So you should go and have a look.
And I had to mute my mic several times right at the end of the broadcast because I was giggling so much it was hurting my ribcage. And I openly admitted that on air as well. But it just goes to show that there's so many crazy people out there. A lot more pit stops happening. Daniel Paul, Joseph Lopez, Jay Rooney, they're all now in pit lane. Paul's probably quite close to completing his pit stop. But the top four at the moment, Ablard, Cullimore, Young and Corish, yet to pit. They're on lap 18. And there is Mr. Zoomies up in the air on his air jacks.
Yeah, tyres. I'm surprised by that.
Well,
I am surprised
he's
by
up
that.
and he's down. He's up and he's down. Like me yo-yo.
Yeah, Harry Hartley-Price is sitting out on the racetrack. He's in behind Jared Love, of course. Love has pitted now, managed to come out in front, so he is technically overall race leader, of course, without Craig Corish, Young, Cullimore, and, well, saying that, they've both just gone into pit lane. So Ablard and Cullimore in pit lane. It's just Young and Corish who have not been in pit lane yet, but Hartley Price and Andy White having a nice little bit of a ding-dong in behind Jared Love.
So 53.5 minutes to go of this second recruitment race. And let's see, neither Ablard or Cullimore have hit their marks. But here comes Tim Reed. He is closing in on... Oh, that was Daniel Paul. He's got through on. And then he's got, I think, well, that is a Corvette in front of him. Not too sure if that might be a lap Corvette. But in the meantime, Hayden Young is now leading by 22 seconds. I mean, even if he 22.6 seconds, even if he comes in very shortly. But if Hayden Young can do 20 laps on 60% worth of fuel, now bearing in mind he's been fighting his way up the order from that little faux pas we saw a bit earlier on JP. And this is probably him just trying to go, right, dust yourself off, Hayden, and just give it everything. And that's exactly what he's done. So Craig Corish now out. That was a long pit stop for him. Longest pit stop, Glenn Ablard, 46.8 seconds. That says to me possibly fuel, tyres, and maybe a sprinkling of getting some damage resolved. Or unless there's something he's not unchecked in the box. And we have seen that before where, I think, what was it? Someone was on course for winning a race and they came into the pit stop and then went, yeah, I forgot to uncheck tyres. And they were in the pits for 3 times longer on their marks than they had intended to be. Hayden Young yet. So Hayden Young, 19 laps for the McLaren. So pretty good stint there by Hayden Young. So it's going to keep him in the mix, but how far down the order is it going to drop him?
Yeah, I don't really... Well, they're on their way into club at the moment, aren't they? They're in the way through the left-hander. So where is he? He's stationary. He's not even stationary yet. That's the worrying side of things. And if he goes and puts on tyres, he's definitely not going to be stationary. They've just all gone past him now. So you're going to see Young plummet down the order a little bit. His car's up in the air, so there are tyres going on it. Unfortunately, it looks like Sindra, Lopez, Cabral, and Valdigans have had also a little bit of a drama. But Jean McLuhan is trying to hold on to the back end of Michael Gray, who has also been in pit lane. 22.95 pit stop. I'm guessing that's probably not a tyre stop.
Right, so Hayden Young, will he still be out in front of Peter Duke? As Tim Cullimore had a little bit of a scare just a second ago. Michael Gray passed Sean McLuhan, and that is the change for fourth for the man we're going to give the nomenclature Mr. Pink. Mr. Pink does it again, and he's up to fourth place and has a 4.7 gap between himself and Andy White, who rounds out the top three. Peter Duke currently in P8. Now, where is Wayne Douglas? Wayne decided enough was enough after 10 laps.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that was a horrendous decision.
Oh, dearie me. And that is going to be Harry Price having a little bit of a nibble at the back bumper of Jared Love. And there is Andy White. So they do say that there is strength in numbers. And Harry Hartley Price tries to dive up the inside on Jared Love, going through Stoke Corner, now through Vale, into the braking zone, the complex here at Club Corner. And you can see how close he gets to the back of the DC Motorsport driver from Scotland. Now out of Club, and then down the Hamilton Straights, and then it's going to be on the give it the berries pedal through into Abbey, Farm Curve, and then Village once again. And you can just see that Jared Love is doing about enough here, JP, to carry off Harry Hartley Price in P2. But Hartley Price able to use the Scotsman as a bit of a measurement tool. And what I mean by that, folks, is that if Jared Love decides to brake at 150 metres, Price might be thinking, well, maybe I could brake 10 metres later and get the opportunity, as now they go into Brooklands, and still Harry Hartley Price unable to get through, but he's swarming all over the rear wing of Jared Love like a bad rash. Now they come out of Luffield and go into Woodcote. Seems like Hartley Price has the run on Love as they get so close to wall through Woodcote. Price to the outside. No, he's not going to get him at this point going through into Copse Corner. So Jared Love parks it on the apex, which is very much entitled to do. With just 47 minutes and 3/4 left to go, it's all hands on deck, batten down the hatches and prepare for war here between the top three at Silverstone. So, right, there we go. 5-second penalty for car number 17, causing an avoidable collision. Was that another test message or? Okay. Insult to injury there for Wayne Douglas. Unsafe rejoin, 5-second penalty. Yep. So still this three-way battle at the front end of the field is carrying on at a relentless pace. They just got through on Mark Ozier in the Harrods Le Mans tribute band livery. Oh, Hartley Price very close under braking through into the loop on Jared Love, who's able to get the traction down a little bit earlier, carry the momentum through the corner out of Aintree. Down the Wellington Straight once again. We are very shortly getting to half time, about a minute and 20 away from 45 out of 90 minutes being completed here at Silverstone. And Harry Hartley Price is not giving Jared Love any room to breathe here, JP. He's on a mission. Oh dear. Slap on the wrist. And car number 6 is also Sindre Johansson has also got the server drive-through penalty. But well, looks like Love and Price have left Andy White away in the background with the tumbleweeds, and they're having their own ta-ta-ta at the front of the field. Once again, going through Stowe Corner. I don't think it's going to be a case of if; it's going to be a case of when Harry Hartley Price pulls the trigger. Drive-through penalty issued for car 7 or 07, Sergio Cabral in the Upshift Esports Corvette. It's going to be a case of when Harry Hartley Price goes, right, I'm going to fire it up the inside, or even at some points here on the circuit, you can try the outside move, but you've got to be, you've got to have the steelies to do that. Freedom. Oh, judging by the way he's driving that thing, or he's driving the wheels off that Mercedes. As now they're going to be heading down to Copse Corner. The two naturally aspirated V8 Mercedes rumbling in each other's wheel tracks, and Price is looking one way. He's looking to the left. Can he get the run on Jared Love? They're wheel to wheel, side by side for the briefest of moments. But Jared Love holds on to the race lead, but Harry Hartley Price is right on his rear wing and rear diffuser coming out of Chapel, and it's the run down the hanger straight into Stowe. And he's got to be a little bit closer than that. There is going to be a start of the closing rate of speed, but not enough. But Harry Hartley Price a little bit braver on the brakes once again by the man in the number 98. And it is a case of Jared Love is making the rear wing of that Mercedes AMG wider than an 18-wheel articulated lorry at the moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was my fault. I coughed and muted and then forgot to unmute. So I did an Alex. There we go.
Well, I heard you.
Yeah, well, you did. They didn't. That was due to the fact that I started coughing and then forgot to unmute myself, so...
Whoopsie.
Yeah, that wasn't me this time, I've got to be honest. So there we go.
We've both done it once each, so 1-1.
1-1, we're equal. 42 minutes to go. And we've got a front battle materialising. Jared Love, Harry Price, Andy White. And then not too far back is the Corvette of Michael Gray. He's only got about 11 minutes.
Corvette, you mean McLaren?
McLaren and Michael Gray, sorry. Yes.
No worries. Right. But I think at the moment, Jared Love has got Harry Hartley Price's number, but you can't... You got to give kudos to a man who's going to keep on trying, keep on pushing that envelope. And I think I see the tactic from Harry Hartley Price here, JP, that he's going to try and see if he can force Jared Love into a mistake, which, depending on where you poke your nose in up the inside here at Silverstone, can be the difference between you getting through or not getting through at all. Sindre Johansson goes in to serve his drive-through penalty, or as we like to call it, the long, long trundle of shame.
I've been a naughty boy, and they've caught it on camera.
I'm going on the dunce's step for the next 90 seconds.
Yeah, there he goes. And out the other side there for Sindre. Unfortunately for him. comes out down in 21st. So not a great run from some of these guys as well. You can see Sindro down a lap, Marc Ossier, Sergio Cabral, Shawnee Clark, and James Vardigan's down 2, and Wayne Douglas called it a day there as well. But Jared Love sitting in first place with Harry Price and Andy White not too far behind.
And a little bit further down the order, 14th and 15th. Harry 7 in the BMW versus James Moore in the Upshift Esports Corvette. They're about 0.3 of a second apart. So that is the battle for 4th in the AM classification. Well, 5th in the AM classification if you include Jared Love. I just had to throw that little bit of enunciation at the end of it there. But yeah, I mean, Jared, if he's battling like this with Harry Hartley-Price, well, that just says that has pro written all over it. I mean, let's not forget, folks, that Jared Love in Season 6 could have been the first person in Tanso Racing Group GT3 history to become the first overall winner from the AM category. Because I think, if I remember correctly, he put the Mustang that particular race on pole position and led for quite a bit of it.
If I remember correctly, I think you may be right. I think he does deserve to go in pros. I'm going to change him until Shawnee tells me any different. But at the moment, I think he probably deserves to be there. As you can see on the left-hand side, we've got this close front battle. Andy White and Michael Gray. Michael's only going to be here for about another 9 minutes, but he's moved his way all the way through the order up 21 spots as he's chasing down on Andy White.
As they thunder their way out of Club Corner, now at high speed, 5th gear, 140 miles an hour, into Abbey, then into Farm Curve. It's hard on the brakes into Village. Then it's a right, left, and then another left through the loop, and then through into Aintree. Mistake there by Andy White, and Michael Gray doesn't need a second invitation. Goes, thank you very much, and he's through for P3.
Yep, through he goes. That's it. Michael Gray's now on a march, chasing down a second to Mr. Love. And is he going to get from last to first again here this evening?
What a surprise that will be.
Yeah, well, they've only got to hang on for another 8 minutes. And then, of course, he's off. So, you know, we're going to see a different limit. Incident limit reached. Car number 6, drive-through penalty issued.
It's Sindro Johansson again. Another trundle shame down the pit lane. Oh,
Is that another one, Connor? Or is that the same one that we've just witnessed?
No, because it was 20x, then every 10x after. So Sindro Johansson must be racking up a hell of a lot of incident points then. You know, even if it's like a 1x here, 1x there. There is such a thing for those uninitiated reference iRacing. There is such a thing as a 0x as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you get a 0, it don't go towards your X count.
That might be James Vardigan's. Well, yeah, James Vardigan. Sindro Johansson is 6. James Vardigan's is 0.6. So that's where the confusion.
Could be Vardigan's again then. Yeah, it's just gone through pit lane. Yeah. So there we go. Too many 6s. Good job. We haven't
too many 0s.
Too many 0s and 6s. We've got Joseph Lopez. He's down here with Jay Rooney. He's just run a little bit wide. That's going to bring Lopez the inside into Woodcote. He goes, take that inside line, mate, and then let it drift out on the exit. Out you go. There you go. Nice. Good job. Through he goes. And now they're going to motor off through the right-hander of Cops coming into Maggots and Beckett's. And are they going to be able to hang on here once more? Michael Gray closing into Jared Love up front. These guys fight down here for 18th and 19th.
So, folks, we've got just over 36 minutes remaining on the timer here at Silverstone. And at the moment, well, in terms of the top 3 for the respective classes, Harry Hartley-Price leads Pro ahead of Jared Love and Andy White in P3. Tim Cullimore in 6th leads the AMS ahead of Glenn Abelard in 9th and Daniel Poole, who rounds out the top 11. Colin just goes, yeah, 286 LOL. As, Mark Wesley has just dived into the pit lane, it looks like, in the McLaren. So he'll be coming in for his second pit stop, and then we'll have 35 approximate minutes to bring that car back across the line for the checkered flag.
Yep. 35 minutes to go. What's going to happen here? What do we reckon?
Well, considering the fact Harry Hartley-Price pitted on lap 16, Jared Love a lap after, so we're probably looking at 32 to 33 laps as a potential next pit stop. But that just depends on how hard drivers have been pushing. You know, you push that a little bit too further around each corner, and that'll add up to like those 0.1 of a litre of additional fuel that you're using. But here comes Michael Gray out of Aintree down the Wellington Straight in towards Brooklands. He's right up the rear of Jared Love going into Brooklands, and gave it a little thought but decided not to. He's going to be with us for about another 4 minutes, so maybe this lap and maybe one more before he dives into pit lane and goes, ta-ta chaps, see you next time.
I don't really know what they should do with Michael Gray. Get everybody else out of the McLaren and then add ballast. Because you can only ballast the car brand, you can't ballast the driver.
No, you'll have to bop it. But then whoever else likes using the McLaren, they'll also suffer the bop as well. So they'll say, well, hang on a second, you've bopped him, or you've bopped the brand, and then now that's affected my car. So then they've then got to look at it again, but now down the hangar straight, Gray right in the wheel tracks, dives, looked, tried to, he nearly gave Jared Love a bit of a dummy there, said, peekaboo, you see me, and no, he's diving into pit lane, that's it. Michael Gray is done for the day. So that'll be ta-ta for now, or TTFN, if you like your acronyms, which means that Harry Bryce and Jared Love are the two gladiators at the front end of the field with just under 33 minutes to go, battling for the overall victory here in recruitment race number 2 at Silverstone.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 seconds.
Gesundheit.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that, everybody. Just had a most inappropriate sneeze at the wrong point there. But Jared Love tucked in behind Harry Price here. Jean McLuhan 9 seconds back. He's going to be driving all on his Todd, is Jean. He's got about 9 seconds to the guys in front and 16 to the guys behind. He's kind of just on a Sunday drive with his grandma in the car, unfortunately for him. Callum Milam is finding himself in a nice little tidy battle with James Moore here. Let's go on the run down into Stowe now. Is Milam going to make that move in that Merc? No, he is not. Going to be sitting back in behind James Moore, of course. So, yeah, let's see how Milam can get on here and whether or not he's going to be able to make it past Mr. Moore and the BMW of Harry 7.
Yep, and we have heard our first driver to pit in for the second and potentially last time. Andy White on lap 28 has pitted for non-including transit time 25.2 seconds. So as we progress that little bit further into the race now, Hayden Young, let's bring him up for a second, did 90, car number 4, Marcosia is going to have to serve a drive-through penalty. Unfortunately, he's hit his drive-through, his penalty limit. Hayden Young pitted later than everybody else. Okay, it might have been by 1 lap, but that 1 lap might make that difference because he will spend probably less time in the pits for his second pit stop. We're on lap 20. We're on lap 30, so this could give an opportunity as Price and
Oh, he got
Love
him.
nearly side by side. Oh, and Jared Love trying to go through on the inside in towards Village. He's trying to go around the outside of Harry Hartley-Price. Tries to get the cut back. Is he going to throw it to the inside here at the loop before we go on to Aintree? It's going to be on the wheel tracks of Harry Hartley-Price. But again, this is the good old Chuckle Brothers routine again, JP.
Yeah.
To me, to you, to me, to you.
I am surprised he got him. Oh, it started a lot earlier than that.
Yes, it did.
Started a lot earlier, and then they just went full bore ding-donging at each other. So, yeah, they started way back down before club. But nicely determined there from both of these drivers. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be over. Adam Hansen in the pits for pit stop number 2, 29 minutes to go. Joseph Lopez is down with Peter Duke. Duke all the way down there as well after he had a towel with a teammate, should we say.
Yep. Another to me to you situation that people would want to avoid, let's say.
Yes.
There's the musical chairs, there's the music, where pendulum swings, so to speak. Joel Loudon now in the pits, Jay Rooney in the pits. So we're getting towards that point of, can Hayden Young do another 19 laps? That is the key crucial point here, because when you look at it, a lot of the people now, okay, Jean McLuhan now in for his second and final pit stops just at the 29-minute mark remaining on the clock. So this is going to probably put him... Oh, just waiting for something to happen, and Jared Love gets his nose cut off to spite his face there by Harry Hartley-Price, who's doing exactly what he needs to do. But Harry not being... he's making sure that the moves are fair, but not overtly aggressive.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it was an aggressive move, then that would more than likely be looked at in terms of the live stewarding, and maybe a determined penalty would be, we'd have a conclusion on a definitive penalty if these two had come together. Tim Reed now in the pits. Jean McLuhan was on his marks in the pit lane for 22 1/4 seconds. So pretty quick stop there. Oh, right. Let's have a look. Tim Reed now on his marks. James Moore now in the pits. So I am going to be interested to see how long these two go on for before they decide to pit. And I would not be at all surprised if Price and Love come in at exactly the same time to have their final pit stop and then go after one another vicariously on the track here at Silverstone for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see as they go side by side again. I've got a funny feeling this is kind of not the first time this has been the situation going down into Stoke. Love sitting behind, tries to get the run again. Is he going to be able to take the outside line in the club this time?
Later that's brave.
Needs that room on the inside. He got the room given. He could have a run out through the right hand and out. He got, maybe not. Just to close the door on him.
So at the moment, the following drivers have knocked down their second pit stop. These two on your screens here. Tim Cullimore, Hayden Young, Glenn Ablard, Daniel Poole, Craig Corish, Harry Seven, Callum Milam, Joseph Lopez in the Zoomies Corvette has only done one pit stop. So has Jay Rooney. Sindri Johansson has come in. And there we see Harry Price saying to the car in front, get out of the way. That was, I think that was James Moore. That was the 24.
Yeah, he's just been lapped.
Got through on. The Upshift Esports guys, I'm not. I think they may be now starting to reconsider whether the Corvette was a good idea, because James Moore was absolutely mustard in the BMW last season, which got him to the Season 7 AM title, despite the fact of not competing in all the races. But Jared Love, once again, just trying to get back that lead from Harry Hartley-Price. 25.5 minutes remaining, and we are on lap 32. So I would probably say that with the way that Hayden Young has been driving the wheels off of that McLaren 720S GT3, we could see a move here for the race lead. Love up the inside of Price. Was there a little bit of a touch? I think there was, but Price kept it around the outside. Keeps ahead of the Scotsman from DC Motorsports, hard on the brake in towards Club. They go through Vale. And is Love going to dive to the inside? He's got the crossover here. That's a good move there from Jared Love if he can complete it. And he does, but Harry Hartley-Price keeps it pinned to the outside down the Hamilton Straight. And into Abbey we go again. Love right on the rear diffuser of the number 98 Clark St James Motorsport driver in front of him. This is going to wage on right up until the checkered, but of course you want to see that pit stop battle as well. Who's going to be on their marks in the pit lane for the shortest amount of time, because that means the transit time to and from your pit box, wherever you are situated in, will be the same no matter whether it's one side or another side of one end or another. But yeah, Jared Love, he's now trying to put the frighteners on Harry Hartley-Price, and they've got more back markers to come up against. So now it's the battle of the Mercs at the front end of the field. Tim Cullimore in the AM division now finds himself in P3. He's yet to make his second pit stop as our leaders make their way down the national pit straight into Copse Corner. And look at the speed that Jared Love is keeping under his right foot, whilst Harry Hartley-Price flashing his headlights at the traffic in front, saying, "Right, just so you know, there's drivers that you're coming up against." So
no, he ain't. He's sitting in the car going, "I'm the leader, get out of the blinking way." There you go.
Yeah.
There is no way in hope in hell he's sitting there going, "Watch out, faster cars coming through." He's sitting there going, "Get out of the way, I'm the leader. I want to live by James Parfitt's rules of blue flags where you need to move." That's what he's doing. Come on, that's obvious. We all do it. We all get in a car, we all lead a race, and then we all come up against well, you know, probably drivers do. Me and you, maybe not so much.
No, I have the flashes flown at me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you just want to get out of the way.
Keep your eyes on this at Copse Corner, and he's chancing it. He's chancing it. Could he get the inside line? The nose dives as he breaks into the corner. Jared Love to the inside. It's a left-hander coming up. And still, Jared Love coming out of the loop and into Aintree. The front end was a little bit all over the place. So as a result of that, Harry Hartley-Price managed to get the traction down and get out of the corner first. And he's on the headlight flashes again.
There's nobody there. He's flashing the camera.
Who
No, dude, literally, there was nobody in front of him. He can't flash
anyone. They're like, why? Oh, yeah, well, I just thought if they still work.
No, he's just there. Yep. He knows he's on TV. Hi, Mum, I'm on TV.
Yeah,
and that's why
look,
he's
Mum,
flashing.
no hands.
Yeah, look, Mum, no hands. I'm flashing with my feet, Mother. Well, there we go. But Hartley-Price, as these guys on lap 34. 21 minutes still to go. Second pit stop's happening. These guys have not had their second pit stop. They can only go 16. They went 16 and 17 laps respectively in the first stint. So I think theoretically, if you doubled that, it should be 32 to 34. So it might be at the end of this lap here they should start coming into pit lane, I think. But the problem is would you cover him off if you were Jared Love? Or would you try and go longer? Depends on who's got the most fuel, I suppose.
Yeah, it just depends on what the driver decides to do.
Oh, they're the ones covered each other off. Oh. Well, that ain't going to help.
Oh.
Drive-through penalty issued for the second time for number 6. That is Sindri Johansson.
Well, car 07, Sergio Cabral now gets a drive-through penalty.
The third time.
Third time. Third time's a charm, Sergio.
You're going to go through the pit lane, mate. You might as well go through and get your money's worth. Hope you're picking up your drinks on your way in. You know, don't forget to grab your Big Macs, because you have been in there a while. As these guys now continue in pit lane, that's going to release Tim Collymore.
Hang on. Car 98, Harry Price. Oh dear. That's going to give Jared Love the lead, because Harry Hartley Price is going to have to serve that within 3 laps of leaving the pit lane, isn't he?
Yeah, and that was all because of the contact with Love. I think there may have been some form of, how can I put it? He was very, very close to his incident limits from being off track, should we say.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that 4X that he's just picked up for being bumped up the bottom has unfortunately put him over that limit. So for him, it's wah. Absolutely. Unfortunately it is, and that's going to sort of keep everything a little bit nullified at the moment until we get a little bit later on down the line, because Tim Collymore and Hayden Young have got great opportunities here. Now them two had their own little drama going into pit lane.
Yeah, and also from this perspective, Tim Collymore pitted on lap 18, so that means lap 36. Hayden Young went on to do 19 laps. So that could be possibly as high as either lap 37, lap 38 that he's going to pit in. So, but it just depends on how Tim's managed his fuel. Now, bearing in mind that Tim Collymore is an AM, folks, and you've got Hayden Young is the McLaren meat in a Mercedes AM sandwich at the moment, as Tim Collymore makes his way through into club, having negotiated his way rather nicely through Vale and through Stoke Order.
He didn't do anything drastic then for Collymore. He just managed to keep it on the road here. Now into the right hander they go of Abbey, coming through Farm. Hartley Price back in pit lane. How far down is he going to be after his drive through? Is Jared Love going to go through? Yep. Andy White looks like he's also going to come through. John McLuhan, is he going to get there? I think he might, judging by that.
Yeah.
I think he might.
Yep. Oh dear.
He's also on. Trundle. Stop there. No, I think he's out now.
Yep, he's out of the pit lane.
But he is.
That's got 8th overall. Oh, that's
dramatic for Harry Hartley Price. But that was because them two had a little bit of coming together in pit lane. Jay Rooney finding out with James Moore in 15th and 16th place respectively.
So this is the battle for 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll be the battle for 6th in the AM class.
And that makes it easier for you.
The gap between them, half a second. Sindri Johansson in the Mustang. Looks like the Norwegian is coming for a final pit stop as Jay Rooney darts into pit lane.
Yeah, it's going to put to the end of that.
Yep. So the big question is, how long before Hayden Young decides to dive into pit lane? That is the big question, because he's now completed lap number 36, so we're on lap 37 with 16 minutes and 20 seconds still to go.
Effectively,
bearing in mind,
now just doubling up on his lap time, doubling up on his pit lap, he went to 19. So 99 is 18, 38. That's just if we use the mental philosophy of doubling up on the first run.
Yeah, so it could be either at the end of this lap, maybe the end of the next one, where he decides to pit for the final time. Now, his first pit stop was nearly 26.5 seconds. It's going to be, well, it's not going to bring him back, you know, depending on how quick his entrance into the pit lane is. 5-second penalty. So, involving car number 10. 5-second penalty given to Jared Love, avoidable contacts in pit lane. Well, that's a wee slap on the wrist for the Scotsman.
Yeah.
In P2.
I might have to have a look at that again now. Don't know if I 100% effectively agree with that. But, you know, look, who am I to argue with Connor Pink? He's got baby brain at the moment, so anything could be going on in the car or in this RC booth.
Leave poor little Axel and leave poor little Axel out of it.
I will do, but, you know, when Dad's thinking about baby food, he ain't thinking about whether or not the brakes got hit a little bit earlier than from on the pit lane entry.
With the bumper getting yeet as a direct consequence.
Yes, but as you say, if you're going to hit and brake earlier, well, you know, you kind of might want to not try and do that one. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering when Hayden Young does decide to pit, because we've got 14 minutes to go on the timer. It's oh, Connor's just gone in YouTube chat. I've been given a guideline, LOL. I had to give for avoidable contact. It can be challenged.
I challenge
you, sir, to a duel. Harry
Yes.
7 in the pit lane.
Lightsabers at 9.
Be like the Star Wars drama Kenobi all over again.
Yeah, exactly. As these guys still continue to fight, we're getting a little bit more spread out across the racetrack currently.
But how late is Hayden Young going to wait? As someone's had a little bit of a whoopsie. Going through Cop's corner just a second ago and has kicked up the dust into the air. Now Hayden Young has got to have a pretty clean pit stop, but it just depends on how long he's on his marks for. It's quite a long time when you get into pit lane to be at the respective pit stop area. You've got to hit it on its marks as well. There's no sort of like, oh yeah, that'll do. No, it won't, because you won't get fuel. The car won't get serviced. As now, yep, Hayden Young on what will be the turn of lap number 39 now comes into pit lane, and Jared Love, well, that gap is basically going to be water under the bridge at the moment, because he is making his way through into the final couple of corners. But Hayden Young yet to hit his marks, is he? He hasn't stopped in the pit lane yet. But once he does, then the timer will start running.
Very long.
Very long indeed. So Jared Love becomes the new race leader on lap number 39. How far down is this going to put? Oh, 11.3 seconds. Oh, that's very, very interesting. 11.38 seconds by Hayden Young. So, folks, grab your cold beverage of choice and your popcorn. Could be quite interesting with Hayden Young coming out only 1.1 seconds behind Tim Collymore, but he's got 11 minutes plus change to try and see if he can catch up to the sharp end of the field.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not, and this is no offence to Hayden, because you are a stunning driver and you're really quick and you're amazing, and I can't really blow any more smoke up your exhaust than I already am. You've got quite the pace to get up to the 14 seconds of Jared Love and Andy White. they are a very long way ahead, and they're very accomplished drivers as well. If you do, fair play, props to you. If you don't, well, I can sit back and say I told you so. But either way, good luck.
Yep, it's now going to be hammer time for Hayden Young. At this point, he's 1.5 seconds behind Tim Cullimore, but then it's a further 6.6 seconds up to Jean McLuhan, who started down in 7th, now runs P3. There's Jean McLuhan P3 at the moment. Andy White trying to get past one of the Upshift Esports cars. Gets through as Jared Love now pits. Oh, now Jared, that is his second pit stop. Now the quickest pit stop we've had, not including transit time, 11.38 seconds.
That's not
Jared
a pit
Love
stop. That's not a pit stop.
That's a drive-through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dearie, dearie me. So that now puts Hayden Young 1.3 seconds away from a potential podium.
Look who's behind him.
Oh, dum 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 dum.
It's like Jaws music. I can feel it on its way. There's Hartley Price and Jared Love are going to be back together again, everybody.
Ding ding, seconds out, round whatever.
I don't even know what round we are on now, to be blatantly honest. I think these guys have been going at it for so long. I think it could be round 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7.
That's why I just go round whatever when I don't remember or can't for the life of me try and dip into those aging data banks that's called a brain up here in my cranium. But yeah, Hartley Price and Love both being hit with the drive-through penalty, and now that is going to be for 4th in the pro class. More importantly, 5th overall. Tim Cullimore again, another standout performance by the man from the UK in the Castrol liveried Mercedes AMG.
Yeah,
bearing in mind bearing in mind, where did he start? He started 8th on the grid, and he was alongside the man who's in front of him by 6.7 seconds, Jean McLuhan. So, yeah, can Hayden Young close that gap in the next, give or take, let's say 8 laps in total? So if he can try and get through and past him, then that'll be a nice little way to end the evening. As we've got Peter Duke and Tim Reed into Stowe Corner. Ooh. Well played there, Peter Duke. Just cut across the nose of Tim Reed through at Stowe Corner. And then, well, Reed had to react accordingly, and thereby making sure they stayed out of harm's way. Still get an opportunity to battle the man in front of him, Peter Duke from DC Motorsports. So across the line they go. We're now on lap number 41 with 6 minutes and 55 seconds to go. And so I would think probably we might get, after this one, maybe another 4 laps potentially in total.
I think we could be right. See who's going to be closer towards this as going towards the end of the race. See the gaps on the left-hand side, not really a lot of them there. Everybody nearly touching that second mark. Just about everybody a little bit more spread out than they would want to be, I'm sure.
Yeah, so closest battle at the moment between Messrs Milam and Moore. And there they are, Mercedes versus Corvette. Heading through in towards the loop section. And then into Aintree. Let's see who gets the better traction down. Two very distinct noise families of thought there. You've got the flat plane crank 5.5 litre V8 in the Chevy Corvette Z06 GT3R, and then you've got the rumble in the jungle when it comes to the Mercedes-AMG GT3 Evo. So, right, second time for... Oh, Mark Ozier gets another drive-through penalty.
Sure, Mr. Ossier will be very upset about it.
Yes. Another one.
Never good.
No, but still, props to him for the livery choice.
I agree. I do fully agree with that. Mark going through pit lane. Don't worry, Mark. See nothing. Comes off through once again. Milam.
Yeah, the old Bart Simpson mythology comes in. I didn't do it.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
No, that definitely
the
was,
Bart
though.
man.
But some actions with Peter Duke and Tim Reed. We've got Tim Cullimore slowly being caught by Hayden Young here. If Cullimore really needs to do anything about this, to be honest, but
no,
just testing his pace as he goes along. There we go.
When you think about it, I mean, Tim was another driver. Right, car 22. Jay Rooney gets a second drive-through penalty. And here goes Hayden Young towards the inside at Stowe Corner. As you rightly said, Tim Cullimore not really in a position to fight it, but nevertheless, Tim Cullimore still on course with just under 4 minutes to go, leading the AM side of things. So I think we are on we might be more than likely on our penultimate lap of the race, as Andy White leads Jean McLuhan by 4.2 seconds. Hayden Young rounds out the top three, further nearly 6.7 seconds back. Oh, drama for one of the...
What's that? Sergio Cabral.
Okay. Yeah, he's not really had much luck at all. I mean, when you consider this season, last season.
Yeah, unfortunately for Sergio, not gone too well for him this evening, but I think that car could be a little bit slippery underneath him. That could be why he's having that issue, I think, but for him at the moment, they'll just keep going, keep prodding along, hoping for the best.
Yep, and the battle between Jared Love and Harry Hartley-Price once again starts to intensify as we're into the final 2.5 minutes of this second recruitment race for Tanso Racing Group and Clark St James Motorsport GT3 Championship Season 8. Another 2 races to go in Mugello next week, and then in 3 weeks' time on the 18th, it will be the final one at Road America. So 2 very different circuits. I would say a little bit more entertaining as well, if I'm honest, JP. I mean, Mugello's got a really, really long start-finish straight. You've got that wonderful technical second half of the circuit as Hartley-Price and Love. Hartley-Price nearly gave Jared Love a little bit of a love tap from behind, going through into Stowe Corner. He nearly did it again there, going through Brooklands and into Luffield, now through Woodcote. But this is going to be very, very close between these two Mercs as to which one is going to be taking bragging rights, saying, yeah, we know we both got penalties, but yeah, I won our battle. You know, whoever does that might have a... we do see it in some points, don't we, JP, that some people like to gloat.
Yes, they definitely do. The thing is, though, the problem is that people do that everywhere. You know what I mean? We all like to gloat at some point. It makes us feel good. I don't even know why we do it, but I think it's for the force of recognition that we've actually achieved something amazing. And as you can see from Hartley-Price and Love, they are achieving something amazing, and that's completing Silverstone with all their bodily parts in one go after their pit stop where all the body parts weren't in complete order.
So, got 40 seconds to go until we go, I think probably on what will be our final lap. It just depends on how quickly Andy White makes his way through the circuit. He's 70% of the way through. Price and Love are joined at the peak, joined at the paintwork at the minute, because you cannot separate the pair of them for love nor toffee. And Harry Hartley-Price trying to give a little bit of a scare to Jared Love. They are coming down through down the hanger straight into Stowe Corner. Timer has hit 0. So it is going to be a victory in our second recruitment race out of the final corner. It's the 86. Andy White wins at the home of British Motorsport. John McLuhan and Hayden Young will round out the top 3. 3 different manufacturers overall. Tim Cullimore is going to win in the AM class, but it's going to be Jared Love that's going to pip Harry Hartley-Price across the line in the Battle of the Mercs, and bit of afters, and a teleporting rear wing for Jared Love. How wonderful.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yes. And looks like someone else has lost their rear wing. That was one of the Corvettes, possibly either Cabral or Moore, but Reed and a few others. Right, so Tim Reed coming through behind Peter Duke, and Duke is going to hold on in the number 177, and that is going to be P9. Craig Corish makes it 2 Porsches in the top 10, rounding out 8th. Daniel Poole is going to round out the top 3 in the Porsche in the AM class. And Harry 7, he's done a fairly decent job as well. Coming out of the final corner, Harry 7 will pick up 4th in AM, 12th overall. A few more drivers still to cross the line. Sergio Cabral has already done so. And in 20th, Mark Wesley, Joel Loudon, Jay Rooney have already done so. James Vardigans crosses the line in 22nd. Callum Milam is now making his way through out of club corner as he thunders across the line in the Mercedes. That's P14. We've got Sindre Johansson and Mr. Zoomies himself, Joseph Lopez. They are still yet to cross the stripe at this particular occasion, but Lopez has, and Sindre Johansson, the Norwegian, in the wonderfully sounding Mustang, brings it across the line to complete our finishes here for recruitment race number 2. So here are your results. Andy White picks up the win after 44 laps around this 3.660 mile circuit by just under 2.1 seconds from John McLuhan. Hayden Young in 3rd. Tim Cullimore picks up the win in the AMs. Jared Love in 5th ahead of Harry Hartley-Price. They both were on course for possibly going for the W, but ended up with respective drive-through penalties. Glenn Abelard, Craig Corish, Peter Duke and Tim Reed ran out the top 10. Dan Poole in 11th, Harry 7th in 12th ahead of Adam Hansen, Callum Milam, Joseph Lopez, Joel Loudon, Mark Wesley and Jay Rooney rounding out the top 18. Sindre Johansson and Sergio Cabral round out the, ran at the top 20. Looks like Cabral's had a post-race penalty, so Sean Clark rounds out the top 20 with James Vardigans, James Moore, Mark Osier, and then we got Michael Gray and Wayne Douglas rounding out the finishers on that one. Oh, and I see that we have got a few people waiting in the interview zone as well.
Yes, sir. Pick one. Anyone. Who would you like?
Let's bring in the man who's won it. Andy White, good evening.
Good evening, gents.
Well, that was a bit of a topsy-turvy race, wasn't it? Especially when Peter Duke and Wayne Douglas came together and you had absolutely nowhere to go, and your front bumper decided to exit the bodywork, exit stage front, didn't it? But nevertheless, you picked up the win here in recruitment race 2.
Yeah, quite lucky there, to be fair. Yeah, I had a contact with the DC boys. I just had nowhere to go. Tried not to get involved, but they come across and I lost my bumper, so I limped back round to the pit and I thought, yeah, we're looking at top 10 from here then, but I just threw a wild card and decided not to change the tyres and see if they would go to the end, and struggling the last few laps, but we got there.
So no tyre changes at all then, Andy?
No, that was one set all the way through.
Oh, a brave call, but it did pay off. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, we've seen people change cars. We've seen you we saw you season 7 in the Audi. We saw you season 6 in the Mustang. I mean, the Merc seems to be like the place to be when it comes to a competitive car, doesn't it?
Yeah, and believe it or not, we just felt lucky on it because we needed a car for another league we race, and one of my teammates just said, let's go in the Merc. So we took the Merc, and then everybody's using it this season. Turned out quite well, to be fair.
Well, congratulations on the W, Andy. Are we going to see you for the third race coming up next week for Mugello, buddy?
Yeah, I'll be back for next week, buddy.
Good stuff. Well, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'll give a shout out to the missus and the kids because I know they'll be watching the stream. So hello, Sean for organising it all, and all the lads at Clarkson and Jones Motorsport.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on the win for Recruitment Race 2. Andy White from Clark St. James Motorsport. Andy, we'll see you next week.
See you next week, gents. Thank you.
Right, okay. Next up, I want to bring in one of the Scotsmen that occupy the grid. Let's bring in DC Motorsport's Jared Love. Jared, good evening.
Hi, Adam.
Not too bad. A really, really good battle between you and Harry, but then there was the little bit of contact in the pit lane. Talk to us from your perspective and your side on what happened.
I haven't watched it back. I effectively just slammed into the wall at the end and quit the game. So I've not watched it back before. Just to preempt that before I say anything that makes me look very stupid. But I've practiced the pit entry. Previous seasons, I've had a few issues on pit entry, shall we say. I'm sure we all remember Watkins Glen and Mugello a couple of years ago. So I practiced it, and I knew exactly where I needed to brake, and that gave me 5 meters room where I was on the pit limiter. And I hit the marks again. Obviously, we were 0.2 of a second between each other the whole race. And I feel like he just broke very, very, very early. And slight bit of contact on the left rear of him. I tried to kind of go around the outside of him. I don't even think it was 4X worthy. Neither of us had damage. My car certainly said it didn't have damage as much as I had the fast report. Anyway, got a 4X, which took me to pretty much on the penalty limit. And then I think I got a penalty for unavoidable contact as well from Connor.
Sorry, think it was
the stewards.
We've been name checking him all night, so don't worry. He knows. He'll know because he's probably watching the broadcast as well. But yeah, I think it was It was a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, so it was kind of a double whammy in terms of penalties that I got in the end.
But aside from that, the battle between you and Harry kept us really, really captivated.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was really good fun. Really, really good fun. We're both quite clean racers. Sorry, helps if I can speak properly. Clean racers. Last night, I think I don't know if it was him or Andy, but the pair of them were in a practice session, and we joined up. And even last night, there was a few laps but 7 or 8 corners, we were totally side by side and no contact at all. So we were quite good and clean racing against each other, which is really good.
I can tell you now as well, Jared, your bumper come off.
Oh, did it?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there we go. This is what I mean. Watch replays for making myself look very silly. It didn't feel like a lot of contact, but yeah, the game's obviously given me the 4X. I've had the 5-second penalty. It is what it is. It's been done now. It would have been nice if we both came out the pits and we could battle right to the end, because I managed to get the jump on him in the pit, which was nice. And then was his drive-through for speeding? Did I make him speed by hitting him, or was it just
I think it's both X's. No. I think you're both X's.
Right, yeah. But it's just fair. It's, we've both been done with as well. But yeah, it would have been nice if the pair of us could fight to the end. My tyres were certainly feeling a bit sketchy by the end. So I need to work on trying to manage them for the second shorter stint.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you jumped Harry in the pit lane by just over a second. Yours was 19.07, and his was 20.15, not including transfer time, of course. But and it's this is something myself and James we've been talking about, that a lot of people have gone to the Mercedes. Obviously, you know, for the last 2 seasons you've run in the Mustang, so the Mercedes seems to be the place to be. But of course, there's more opportunities with more recruitment races. We've got Mugello next week. Are we going to see you around for that one as well?
Yes, I believe I can make next week, but not the 4th recruitment race. I might try the Mustang. I think I've just got a bit bored of it after 2 seasons, and the America's close enough, and just by chance there's now pretty much everyone and their auntie and uncle are running the Merc up there in front. So
yeah,
it kind of almost off-putting to use it. I didn't realise everyone was going to use it. It feels close enough to the Mustang though that I still know what I'm doing with it. So
brilliant. Well, Jared, thanks for having a chat to us, buddy. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Shout out to the wife. She's does God's work every Monday if the kids are not in bed, which they pretty much never are. So she keeps them calm and lets me have a little bit of time to race. So yeah, shout out to the missus. She certainly helps a lot.
Brilliant. Okay, Jared, thanks a lot for your time, buddy, and we'll see you next time out for Mugello next week.
Yeah, see you later. I guess.
Right, well, that really pretty much wraps up the post-race interviews for tonight's broadcast. JP, final thoughts at Silverstone and thoughts ahead of Mugello next week?
I think Mugello's an interesting race circuit at the best it can, and I'm going to find it quite interesting to see how these guys get on. I don't really know who's going to tackle Michael Gray, but yeah, Andy White did a stellar job taking that victory, so fair play to him.
Indeed. Well, that wraps up live coverage of recruitment race number 2 from the home of British Motorsport Silverstone for the Tanso Racing Group and Clark St. James GT3 Championship Season 8 recruitment side of things. You've been in the company of Alex Goldschmidt and James Parfitt, live and direct here on the JP Broadcasting Network. Please don't forget to follow us on socials if you want to get involved with the league. Links are in the description down below. And whilst you're at it, if you haven't already, why not like, share and subscribe? And then you get all the notifications of all the upcoming racing that we got this week here on the JP Broadcasting Network. So, as always, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, like here at Silverstone, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Cool.